It's a race against the gun. I didn't make it. I'm trying. Golly, I'll get no time to retweet nothing. But it gets sent out, and I gotta wait like for the note to tweet to come out on Orange Bloods, right? And so when the tweet comes out on Orange Bloods, then I can. By the time they hit start, I get 30 seconds. I get 30 seconds, and by the time it shows up on my phone, I got 10 seconds left. So hold on a second. I want to let my followers know that I got a show going on with a cool GIF. And then let's do this. Hold on. I'm so sorry. All right, here we go. All right, done. I need a longer intro. Like give me 45 seconds. Good morning. How's everybody doing? Good morning to you. I know you guys are happy. There's only one person who's not happy right now. That's our producer, Aaron. He's the only person that's unhappy at this moment, and probably Houston fans. I don't know if Houston fans are that happy, to be honest with you. I'm sure you guys are not celebrating the Rangers' victory last night. I was watching stuff on my timeline from Houston folks still pointing out their championships versus the Rangers championships. So I like the pettiness, but if you are a Rangers fan, congratulations to you. I'm sure you partied it up last night. You should have went to Specs before the game. That's for damn sure. We'll talk about Specs later. But congratulations for you guys who are Rangers and fans and enjoying this thing, getting ready for a parade over in Arlington. I know El Presidente has to be happy. I know El Presidente is happy. I know I will see him in here tomorrow. He's going to have the biggest smile, the biggest grin on himself. But congratulations to everyone who's got there, stuck in there. Baseball, you guys, I'm going to tell you what. I used to be a baseball fan. You guys who are baseball fans, more power to you. It's such a long season for you guys. I mean, to start from when players and pitchers and catchers report to spring training to this whole long year to those dog days of summer sitting out there with 100 degrees. Everything, man. So, hey, look, first and foremost, you made it this far. Congratulations on that. But congratulations for you Texas Rangers, man. I'm glad you guys are champions. Glad that the trophy remains in the state of Texas. And hopefully you go out and celebrate. And don't you guys give my man Aaron a hard time about it. He's a diehard Arizona fan. He'll be all right. I think, we were talking beforehand. Now, like the good part is, at the end of the day, at some point you'll be able to look back and say, well, at least my team made it, right? And then there will be, it's kind of, we all do that thing where you try to look for the positives. So it's not easy to do in the moment, but outside of the moment, it will be. So congratulations to everyone who did it. And welcome back to the Old Fashioned Sports Show. I'm your host, Anwar Richardson. Glad to be back. Glad to be here. I am attempting to grow out my mustache for Movember. And by the way, I'm working on the charity thing. If you see, there's people who, if they don't shave for a day or so, they got a full mustache. I'm not that guy. I have not shaved since the day. So really in 2 days, well, actually really 3 days, because I didn't shave on Tuesday or so. So this is all we got so far, fellas. This is all we got so far. 3 days of Onward working on this mustache. I've shaved the sides, but this is where we're at after 3 days. It's going to take a while. It's going to take a while before we get there. You got can you get your nose out of my face, man? Like this shit's that's too much. Tom G has got a brand new television. It's hold on. I'm going to tell you how big this thing is, Aaron. I think it's 125 inches. It's something ridiculous. Hold on. I want to see. Yeah, 120. He's got a 120 inch 4K laser television. I don't even know what the hell that is. Okay. But he showed it. He sent me a pic last night, of it. He was watching Alex on Football with Friends. So I was like, hey man, don't watch my show. That's too much pressure. Don't watch my show on 120-inch television 4K. I don't need the pressure like that, man. And then so yes, so he's watching it on that. That's some badass stuff right there. So anyway, I try to go this thing out for Movember. For those of you who don't know, it's known as a global campaign that encourages men to grow mustaches and participate in various activities to wear awareness about mental health issues. And so this month of November, we basically have to start promoting like physical and mental well-being around amongst the men, addressing issues such as prostate cancer, testicular cancer, mental health challenges, suicide prevention. And that's what this is for. So that's when eventually I grow it out. I'll be able to talk a little bit more about it more. I'm going to have some experts on this month too, to help out the fellas about the conversations and things that we don't talk about, that we probably should talk about. We talk about the sports and we talk about the ladies and we talk about eating out and money. But we don't always talk about the things that affect us as far as health is concerned or mental health. So we'll spend the month of November, once in a while, dibbling and dabbling into those subjects. So hopefully it'll be helpful to everyone who's out there. Speaking of like our people and everything like that, Tom G, I did lunch yesterday. Hung out with BLK Crypto. We went to Fogo de Chao yesterday. You guys have been to Fogo de Chao? Very good restaurant that's there. They bring out all this. It's one of those places where they just keep bringing meat and they keep cutting and keep cutting and cutting. You have to flip it. So you flip a little card, so like stop, go. Man, you gotta get the stop, man. These people just keep coming, boy. I mean, it was like I felt like it was a competitive eater at some point. Like it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous, man. But speaking of things that we're working on, so I was talking to him and one of his crypto partners, a crypto expert. And so, I was going to have some things. We kind of sat down, preliminary conversation about some things, but we may be doing some things to bring some of the crypto into your life, as far as getting some crypto advice for those who want to do some sort of investments and get ahead and know what the hell is what. I sat down with a guy named Ian, really, really smart dude, who's made several million doing this thing and not necessarily killing himself. But in any case, it sounded very interesting. You'll have to invest at your own risk, but I'm working on that and bringing that to the show as well for you guys who, saying to yourself like, hey man, like I want to make a little extra cash. Like I got a little change sitting around. I don't know what to do. I keep hearing about things that pop off and I'm always the last to know. Like we're always the last, like man, could have got in on Bitcoin. Whoops. We're, all this other stuff. So in any case, I was working on that for that. And what would you say, text guy 2? What would you need money for, Unc? For all the things we talk about, sports and women. That's what we need money for, right? Is there anything else we need money for? If left to our own devices, like would you have the house that you have? Would you drive the car that you drive? And would you wear what you wore if it wasn't trying to do something for a woman? Just asking, right? Or so nonetheless, that's what you need the money for. Or you might need to retire. Like there may be different things. So nonetheless, I was working on that for you guys yesterday as well. Let me make sure I say hello to everyone who's in the chats right now. Good morning, Mr. Hookem. Look at you, man. Look at you, Mr. Hookem, here in live in the flesh. And yes, you said wishing me a real uncle. That would be dope, man. Man, come on into the family, Mr. Hookem. Just come on in. I'll be the unk that you never had. I'll be the unk that gives you the advice, the unk that got all these weird southern sayings for just about anything. You name a situation, I probably got a saying for it. But yeah, I'll be that unk for you, Mr. Hookem. I'll be that unk in your life. I'll be a surrogate unk for you. So let's go ahead and we'll make that happen. G, what's up, G Lewis? How are you doing? What's up, man? No. No, you're not. No, we're not saying that. It's not an LL song. It's not an LL song. G Lewis, good morning to you. Zio_V, my favorite Hennessy bottle. He's here in the house. Robert is here in the house. Good morning to you. And good morning to Whitney. Notice Robert, you like had your own thing. Like this is like your own space. Like you're kind of like your man cave kind of space. And all of a sudden, like now, once I knew Whitney was on the scene, I keep mentioning Whitney. So now all of a sudden I've invaded that space for yours. But in any case, that's all right. Good morning to you and Whitney. I hope you guys are doing good. Good morning to you, Soto 806, my man out in Lubbock. Cotton, Young Buck, how are you doing? Speaking of Bucks, Buck Wild Longhorns. About time to barbecue a wildcat. Absolutely. Wildcat, game cat. Go ahead and skin that cat, boy. Money Bean, he said, let's go Rangers, we in the building. Aaron, it's okay, it's gonna be a lot of Rangers talk, so just it's okay, you're all right. It is mental health awareness for the guys. I'm sorry if I'm inflicting this pain on you, but they are talking. Anthony, what's going on? Anthony Audrey B Puente, horns up. Just a dude, good morning to you. You're almost just a dude. Almost be able to get that in there. SEC Hookem is in here. Good morning to you and the OB family. Jesse Eldridge is in here. Chris Bennett, the OG of super fans. Before all these other super fans were out there was Chris Bennett, man, holding it down. But he said congratulations to the Rangers. Kiki, was good with you? What up to you, sir? My son just flew last night, heading out over to Paris. I got to check the itinerary. I'll probably be there at some point like today or tomorrow, something like that. But wish my man luck over there as he spends the week training with PSG. I think it starts next week. I think it starts on the 3rd. I gotta go back and look at the schedule. I think it starts on Friday. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's Friday. We'll see. Just another fragrance reviewer. Good morning to you. Good morning to you, Lewis Gaines, as well. My Corleone Burgess. Now that's a Don Corleone. I like that. Corleone Burgess. Good morning to you. Good morning, Chris Nelson. Deborah. Morning, Rangers World Series champs. Say it loud. You're champs. You're proud. Some people are going to get that. Some people won't. This is a James Brown reference. Cameron is in here. Junior Dogs is in here. ZS is in here. So yeah, I knew it's going to be somebody in there. Ghost Rose. Craig is in here. Sam Shepard is in here. Rangers won. Now Longhorns bring home the national championship, bringing back the Texas State of Championships, bringing home all the championships. State of Texas bring home all the championships from your mouth to God's ears. Money B said he poured up a good bourbon last night. I bet you did. Big Tex, my dude, good morning to you. Charlie Williams, good morning to you. Sark After Dark. All right, I see you over here, Sark After Dark. A Chingon award. Okay. Mike Harges, what's going on? The original, not that other guy. The original. I just saw something. Just a second ago that Mike Harge Mike Harge himself is going to be doing radio again on I think the AM 1300 to Zone, if I am correct. So yeah, I think starts on November 13th. So the other Mike Harge. But if it shows on the same time as mine, I gotta listen to mine though. We kind of family. No, I think he's in there. I think it's like morning time. I think he's like 6 to something, like 6 to 8 or something like that. So you still gotta listen to Horns Up. So it is what it is. ZS, good morning to you. Too broke to pay attention. Good morning to you, Dale Coleman. Tom G, just talking about you, Tom G. He said it's not TV. Oh, he says it's not a TV. It's a 120-inch screen and 4K laser projector. Wow, Aaron. It's not even a television. It's not something you mount on the wall. It is the wall. That's what he's saying. I don't put it on the wall. It is the wall. Like, that's where we at. Like, golly, 120-inch screen with a 4K laser projector. Aaron, I need you to look that up for me. Well, how much does that cost? Aaron, how much does a 120-inch screen in and a 4K laser projector. How much does that cost? My guess, $2,300. That's gonna be my guess for something like that. And no, Tom G probably got something that's top of the line too, by the way. Sark After Dark is in here. Good morning to you. Texas Mama, good morning to you. It's been a while, Texas Mama. I was asking about you last week too. It's been a while. But I'm glad you're back. Colby S is in here. I gotta start getting an email list for you guys or something like that. So I know when you guys aren't here, I need to do a checkup. It's kind of like when you go to you ever went to the churches, the old church, and you didn't show up on a Sunday, and then you knew you was gonna get a call from somebody in the church, somebody associated in the church. Hey, Brother Richardson, I heard you we didn't see you on Sunday. We just want to make sure everything all right. Everything all right in your life? Everything good? Anything we can pray for you about? Like that's what I have to start doing with this show. I'm gonna be like, Texas Mama. I hadn't seen you in the chat in a little bit. I just want to make sure everything all right. Anything we need to talk about? Anything we need to pray about? What's going on to Texas Guy 2? Adam De Leon is in here. BK817 is in here. Jared is in here. Alan is in here. BK, my man from the ATL, is in here. BK817. Mr. Hookham is in here. Luke 222 is in here as well. Nash's Talk Texas is in here. Look at you. Nash Talk Texas, really good follow on Twitter, obviously, and always puts up really good information. So always like seeing what Nash is talking about. Blake Winfrey. Oh, it looks like this Tom G setup could cost anywhere between $2,500 to $6,000. Woo! Somebody asked what you need money for that? Why we talking about crypto for that? Some of us got to get our weight up. All right. So we got to figure it out and get to that top G status. I like that. Charlie Williams is in here. Major Alexander is in there. Good morning, bro. Robert is in here as well. Yeah, good to see you, Corleone. Darren, BT is in there. So now they're saying over 10K in the chat. What? What? Dale Coleman says that no, when you're looking at 10K at least. What? Oh, snap. Wait. Hold on. Let me go back to this. This is, man. So this here on the wall is me. You paid 10K to see me? Bruh. Yeah, you can FaceTime. I'll do a show for you live. FaceTime it for you. Give me 2,000. Shoot. While Talja, you're correct. Is north of 10K just for those two pieces and north of 35K for all the equipment. Tot. Oh, snap. What? Okay. Wow. Enjoy your $400 4K TV that you guys are going to get on Black Friday and think you done something. You guys are going to be out at Walmart, Best Buy, getting you'll be like, man, look, I got myself a TV. You're going to be walking out all proud of yourself, can't fit the thing into the cart, right? Holding on to it, pushing, thinking to yourself, man, I'm doing good. I'm gonna mount this thing on the wall, got myself a Black Friday special. Tom dropping $35,000 just to watch stuff. Golly, I have the best friends in the world. Woo! Good. Wow, that's amazing. God bless you, man. God bless you to be able to do that. I'm impressed. Very, very impressed. I want to make sure I get everyone else. Woo, that's some money right there. Charlie Williams, I don't know if I said hello to you. I'm just thinking about 35K. Aaron, what the hell were you looking at for $2,000 to $6,000? What did that? That's it. No, not even that. Woo, man. Luke, I already said something to you. I already said something to Darren. Brian is in this house. I don't know if I said something to Charlie Williams. I'm trying to regain my whole composure here. A salute to you, Justin. Good to you, man. I hope you're all doing well. I hope the family's doing well. Good morning to you, Arthur. Richard, what's up from Louisville? Nice to see you, Richard. Let's see what else is in here. I want to make sure I say Texas too. I know I've said you before. I think I said Major. Make sure I acknowledge Major as well. And then I'm going to Onward this time, maybe realize how broke you are, how broke we all are. Goodness gracious. He has a Stewart acoustic transparent screen, a 9.2 system, a Sony 4K laser projector, which was a something cinema 40 with a few other toys. Boy, what y'all got? What you watching your TV on? Remember the Chappelle show? This is Tom G. Hide the money, y'all. There's broke people around. With your broke ass. That's Tom G. That is totally Tom G. Hide the money, y'all. There's broke people around. With your broke ass. We're all poor. Oh my gosh. Lewis game. Lewis game. Hey, Lewis, you like me. I had my 55-inch. Felt like I was doing a little something. And I had it's connected to the Amazon account and everything. So it's like an Amazon TV. So you could talk into the remote and stuff. And so, I'm feeling good. I'm like, yo, go find this thing. Go find that. Go find this. Go find that. And it's like doing everything that I want. And then this man over here got 35. He don't have a TV on the wall. This wall's just a TV. That's where we at right now. I just Longhorn toy. He's like, I financed my 42-inch. I hope he's joking. Wow. Okay. Well, speaking of money, if you got that kind of money and you want to buy a house and you're in the DFW area, well, shoot, spend that money. Spend that money with Eric Sells Homes DFW. If you're looking to buy a home, so you can get into that, spend the money that you have. If you're looking to sell a home, you want to earn a little bit of cash, aka a lot of cash. Then Eric Sells Homes is the guy that got you covered. He's the man with the master plan. He's got everything that you need. So go ahead and check him out. It's Eric Sells Homes DFW. Check him out. Buying or selling made easily. Tell him I sent you. He's El Presidente. He'll be in here tomorrow with his picks, speaking very highly and bragging about his Texas Rangers. But nonetheless, as we get started, Eric Sells DFW. You got the QR code right there. You know who he is. He will absolutely take care of you, hook you up. Eric Sells Homes DFW. Man's got you covered. All right. This is a super chat that just came in. $5 goes to hey Aaron. $5 to go done. Only another 35,955 to go for us to get Tom's TV. We got five. We got 5 on it. Hey, he goes. Just wanted to let Nash know that he is the Jonathan Brooks fan club president. You know what it is. Tell him. Oh yeah. Nash. You can't. Hey, Luke's been holding down that position for a while. Luke has been talking about this beforehand. Luke was one of the people who was telling me before the season that Brooks would be just as good as Bijan, and I told Luke that he was like Pookie in New Jack, that I felt like he was smoking crack, and I got on Luke a lot before the season. I have had to fall on my sword. I've had to remember the words that I used to say or was raised on, which is make your words sweet just in case you have to eat them. And boy, I didn't make my words sweet, and it tasted bitter now. It tasted bitter. So I got to tell you, Nash, I know you like them, but I got to here. I mean, Luke's got the crown. I got to give it to him. Just because of all the crap that I gave him. So Luke, you got it. You got it. $5 well worth spent. Major coming in. Said on the football field, I feel a lot better about Saturday because Texas is actually playing a good team. I see what you're saying. You're saying Texas rises to the level of the opponent, is what that sounds like. So what you're saying, and then we look think through it. So the struggles have been what Houston, a little bit. Maybe Rice was slow. Wyoming was a little bit slow. Okay, that's fine. I see what you're saying, Major. If it is, hey, they're going to get up for a good team. I'm here for that. Let's do this. Let's go to a break, and then when we come back, I'll start getting into the subject matter that I really want to start getting into. I got a lot of different things. I got a lot of things I want to cover. Oh, and I'm also going to have Mitch Fortner on at 9:30. I know I usually get out of here around 9:30, but from a scheduling standpoint, it kind of worked out better that way. So Mitch Fortner he's the voice of K-State. He's been on the show before, but it's time he'll be on here at 9:30 to talk a little bit about K-State and where they're at. And now I'll probably talk to them about like 15 minutes. And then I got the prize picks that comes right at 10 o'clock. And then we got Sarkeesian around 11. So it's a jam-packed morning. There's a lot going on. Got War Room stuff for the night as well. And so, yeah, I got a lot going on today. So let's do a quick break. And then when we come back, I got so many more subjects to talk about. And we really got to reevaluate our lives and really get to the point where Tom G is at. Because we need to get that TV. By the way, Blake May said, get us fired up for Saturday. Travis and Aaron were giving off negative vibes for the game. Shame. Well, first of all, you got to ignore Aaron today. You got to already know he woke up in a bad mood. I mean, you got to remember he an Arizona fan, right? So you can't expect my man to come in here and be excited about anything. You know, it's like for instance, give a good example, right? Like when wait, I know you guys got kids in the car, so let me see how I could phrase it. Certain days, is got more pep in the step than others. And realistically, if you notice on Mondays, I usually come in a very good mood. Why? Because usually on the weekend, I spend time with somebody. We go out, we enjoy ourselves. And by the time Monday roll around, after that whole weekend of fun, Unc's in a great mood. But you can't, I'm always like, how you doing? How's everyone doing? It's great. Don't worry about it. Even if Texas lost, it's going to be all right. Life is good. Doesn't it feel good to be in love? Or doesn't it feel good just to love your team? Like, everything's good, right? I hope Catch is in a good mood because I'm in a good mood, right? But let me like towards the end of the week and then, and be like, man, this, you know what? Let's talk about the 10 negative things, 10 things that Texas need to work on because, I'm in a bad mood. He's just in a little bad mood. But wait, he'll be all right. Now, I almost came out and said it all. He's right, Nash. I almost came out and said, like, hey, when you fall into something, you usually wake up in a good mood. And on that note, let's go to break.
Think about that season. So you guys had a bye week.
Yes.
In between that game and playing, ironically, Chad, at Rice after a week off.
We played Penn State. Won, of course. No one thought we could. On the road in Happy Valley. Had a bye week. Everybody thought we were all a patch on the back and you're great and this and that. And then we play Colorado and that occurs. And then we have a bye week after that too.
Yep. Y'all went bye week to start the season.
Ridiculous. Yeah. So we had to wait another week. Then we played Rice. And that fueled us, though, the rest of the season, man.
So how did y'all do it? That's the question I wanted to ask was you said you guys had the hangover after that Colorado game. But then y'all come back and basically didn't lose the rest of the season until you get to the bowl game. Right? So what happens after a disappointing loss that lets you know you're back and not still hungover? When does the hangover end? When did it end?
Speaking personally, that's when you have to do the self-reflection. each guy has to go in and do that deliberation. Did I do my best, or where do I need to get better? And to have 2 weeks to think about that. After 2 weeks of being told you're the greatest and Texas is back and yada, 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 after winning at Happy Valley, they're ranked, you're not. And then it reverses. You did a complete 180. Now you're sulking for 2 weeks and you're chomping at the bit to get back out there, but you have to wait. So just personally, you rededicate yourself. That's what you do. You rededicate yourself. You endeavor to make up for the mistakes, to get in that film room. I'm going to work a little bit harder. I'm going to lift those weights a little bit longer. And that's what you have to do. And it's difficult. Now they've had to sit there for 2 weeks and think about the mistakes. And when they're little bitty mistakes that shouldn't occur, that's what eats at you. That's one thing if the team is that much better than you. But they're not. Oklahoma wasn't. And Colorado wasn't that much better than them. We just made the mistakes where they didn't. So you have to, one of my favorite quotes, Socrates, or Socrates, as we say in Texas, a life not self-examined is a life not worth living. Do that self-deliberation, man. You gotta sit there and reflect on your play and what type of player you want to be moving forward. And that was the fuel to and the catalyst to get us moving back in the right direction.
All right, appreciate those guys. Obviously, house divided. That you can catch that here on noon until 3 on the channel. Speaking of the things that you need to catch, hey, listen, it is Thursday. Thursday night football is coming up. We got Friday night football. You know, nothing like a little high school tailgate out there, having a little sippy sip out there in the car. But of course, nonetheless, as Saturday rolls around, more importantly. If you want to have those tailgatings, wake up in the morning, go ahead and enjoy yourself in the afternoon. You got to go to Specs, man. You got the beer, you got the wine, you got the spirits, you got the mixers, you got everything that you need. You got some snacks, you need some ice, you need whatever it is. They got you covered. Specs is good. Specs is where you got to go. You're a Rangers fan. You are celebrating, and you're telling yourself, I am super excited about this moment. You go out and buy yourself a nice little special bottle. Tell yourself, okay, a little, I usually stay in that 25 range, 30 range. But you know what? For an occasion like this, time for me to drop 50. Having gets one of those things that are behind the case, right? This a nice bottle to celebrate. A nice bottle. We're going to get that yak. With a nice bottle to celebrate. It's Specs. Go ahead and tell them, Aaron, what Specs got going for them.
No matter what you're needing, Specs same-day delivery can save the day with our Specs app or online shopping. From world-class wines to hard-to-find spirits and craft beers to gourmet foods, delicious snacks, and spectacular sweets. It's Specs. Cheers to savings.
All right, hold on. Everybody's saying, Aaron, everyone's saying there's a lag. Are you noticing it? How bad is it? It's not on your end. All right. If I get, all right. Well, I'll believe you. So let me do this. Listen, there's nothing life is permanent outside of death. Let's just do this. Let me do a quick break. Let's do another break. Let me do a reset. And then we'll come back and we'll make this thing happen. So let me just go to break. I'll just restart everything. It's all good.
And Texas has played kind of an uneven brand of football at times over the course of the month of October. I got just honestly, I can't tell you the game that it's going to happen in, but if they don't start playing more like September brand of football and less like October brand of football, I think there's a possible loss in there for Texas. And, this is a major moment this is a crossroads moment for Steve Sarkisian because they are on the cusp of really having a great season. It's been a great start. Quite frankly, 7-1 at this point in the year, given how long it's been since they've been with that record, 8 games into the season, an absolute success. But if they fumble it away in these last 4 games, the only thing that people will remember is the fumbling away part. So it is impaired. Like this is, I mentioned it a week ago. Steve Sarkisian has to be at his best. It is one of the wild cards going into Saturdays. What do you get from this offense? What happens when Sarkisian gets off the script? They're going to probably be really good in the first quarter. And I think one of the keys to this game is getting ahead early on Kansas State and making them play outside of their comfort zone. If Texas can go up 14-0, 14-3, 21-3, like they have each of the last 2 weeks, I think that's exactly what the doctor ordered. But Texas got to play better in the middle of these football games. 2 weeks in a row, they've essentially gone 40 minutes of game time with not good offense. They didn't score at all for 37 minutes of game time against Houston 2 weeks ago. And yesterday.
All right, let's try it now. I need to know, everybody. I've done a reset on my end. I need to know if you guys are feeling good on your end, on your side. Like, let's go ahead and see. It should be something better than like testing 1 2, testing 1 2. But yeah, everybody, just let me know if we're good. Gucci. All right, I know what Gucci means. I know what that means. All right, they're good. We're good. All right, good. All right, that's what's up. All right, well, bump it. Let's get into. Well, there was one thing I wanted to tell you guys about real quick, and then I want to get into my air of positivity that we have because it was a really cool, just real quick story that I was going to get into, and I'm going to talk Texas real quick. Oh no, it's going to talk Texas for a while, but this story is going to be real quick. Did you guys see yesterday? Pete Thamel had a story about the Michigan situation and how the head coaches all got on a conference call yesterday. It's fascinating. But nonetheless, so basically there was a head coaches conference call yesterday with the Big Ten. And apparently the call took 90 minutes. And then it included Harbaugh for about an hour. And then when he hung up, according to Pete Thamel, 5 sources familiar with the call they said it was a chorus of voices encouraging Petiti, looks like, to take action against Michigan in a call that was described as both intense and emotional. It said collectively the coaches want the Big Ten to act right now. What are we waiting on? We know what happened, and that's them being upset with the sign stealing allegations. And so and you know what? I'm not actually that mad at the coaches. Like, because first of all, there's certain things that you're not supposed to do. You're not supposed to steal signs in baseball, and there's a kind of a code. You should be some sort of ethics to trying to steal this stuff. And those coaches are like, hey, what you waiting on? Like, Michigan's out here getting all this love, all that kind of stuff. Go do something. Do something. We're gonna wait until after the season. Of course, they want to wait until after the season, right? They don't want all this thing to happen now. They want the Michigan to go through and ratings, blah blah blah. They'll come and they're ready to hang up, or do you have someone else tap in under a different address? I mean, and the thing is, again, I'm just going to go back to the simple logic, and I'm going to talk Texas in a second. But the simple logic is, whoever's stealing this stuff, you're giving it to somebody on Michigan staff. You just didn't decide, like, I'm just going to steal these things just for fun, just because I got nothing else to do on the weekend. You clearly were doing it to benefit Michigan. And if you really, really just want me to believe that Jim Harbaugh didn't know anything about this, he's just oblivious, just an innocent. Like, I have no clue. I have no clue what my coaches are doing or how they're doing. A coach in college coaches who love to control every single little aspect of their program didn't know anything? Huh. Okay, sure. There's certain things where they say I was born that night, but I wasn't born last night. All right, coach. None of us was born last night. You can't pull that one on us. All right. So that's it. So let's start the conversation. let's start the conversation I want to have with you guys today. And I want to start. No, I'm talking to all you who are in the chat, all you who are just listening, not participating in the chat, but you're listening as well. And by the way, hit the like button regardless of what you are doing, and please hit subscribe to the channel if you have not done it. The hardest part about all of you, Sam Shepard, David Lewis, South End Zone Queen, Nash Talks Texas, Tom G, the list goes on, Kobe, from everybody I talked to from the beginning of the show, from the ZO underscores to the, I mean, you name it, to G, all of y'all, every single one of y'all, Harges, Money B, all of y'all, Aaron, is the problem that you guys have. It's a good part. It's a good thing. The good thing is that all of you guys are, good morning to you, Doug, are very educated as far as sports fans are concerned. Very, very educated. You're very, very smart. And that is an absolute strength that all of you have, right? It's like you guys know the difference between a cover 2 and a cover 3, and none of y'all are thinking it's a restaurant in Austin. When I say cover 2, or I say cover 3, not a single one of you, your first thought is, oh, that's a pretty good place to go for lunch, right? That's not what you think. You start thinking of defensive coverages, right? Because that's how smart you are. Like, that's how smart and educated all you guys are, right? When I say press box, you're thinking something sports oriented, right? You're not necessarily thinking like of a sports bar that's in every town. Like, there's always a sports bar in every town called a press box, right? You guys are so smart and so educated, especially on your Longhorns. If I just say one name, you know exactly who I'm talking about. Ready? Let's just play around with it, right? I ready? Check this out. If I say Earl, you know what I'm talking about. I don't have to say who it is. And none of you are thinking Earl the Pearl. Okay? No one's thinking a basketball reference. If I say Earl, it's done. Anyone says you Earl, you know it's done, right? If I say VY, then you're thinking, well, that's an abbreviation for Valley, isn't it? Right? No, none. Right? If I just say VY, you already know where it's at, right? If I just say Ricky, right? What else? Do I need to say anything else? No. Now, the average person might think Ricky Valley. My Latinos might think Ricky Martin. I usually think Ricky from Friday, you know. Run, Ricky, run! Like, what'd you do to my baby? I think, but when I say Ricky, you guys know what I was. No, not some of y'all may be thinking Pretty Ricky, but no. Baby, cry on me. No. And if I say Colt, again, nothing else needs to be said, right? You don't think of a horse. You don't think of a firearm. You don't think of anything else. You don't think of a sports team. You just say, if I say Colt, you got the rest. I don't need to say anything else. That's where you are as far as your intellect is concerned. But as I always say, sometimes the things that make you strong are the things that make you weak. And then I always use the example, if you are an argumentative person, and that's a strength, makes you a fantastic attorney, makes you a horrible husband or a partner, right? Because it's a strength, but it also makes you weak. And the thing is, as relates to you guys, and I'm not lecturing you, but we're having a conversation, okay? Because I can get guilty of these things as well, is that when we start thinking about the season, because of your knowledge and because of how smart you are and because of how educated you are, it's so easy to criticize the things that are happening outside of appreciating it. And I don't mean in a Dabble Sweeney arrogant kind of way. And it's not to say you don't, but what we're going to do is kind of start thinking about certain things and just for today, because Kansas State will take care of itself. Okay. Well, think about the things we have criticized this season. Steve Sarkisian and his football team, right? We criticized them at the beginning of the season for not having enough road success, right? That was something that we had really put on there. Like they don't win on the road, so on and stuff. You guys know, if you followed me for any period of time, you know I have been saying that Texas hasn't started 3-0 and beat all their non-conference opponents since 2012. I can't tell you how many shows I did about it. I can't tell you how many times I've written about it over the years. I can tell you all the stats. I had that, right? But that was a criticism. This team never starts 3-0. Why are they scheduling these tough out-of-conference teams, non-conference teams? Why not schedule pins? I was always a proponent. Schedule Tulane. Schedule Tulane. Schedule teams that you just know you can beat. Don't schedule anything else. Go to Tulane, go to New Orleans, have a good time. Let's come back. You know? And then think about this. Criticized him and the team for the slow starts this season, right? Whether it was Rice, whether it was like Wyoming. It was like, man, why are you always starting so slow, man? What's wrong? What's wrong with this offense? Why does it start so slow? Why does it take so long to get things going, right? Golly, my OCD just keeps messing me up here. Like all that, right? And there was a heavy criticism of that. Baylor happens, everyone kind of shuts up, right? Then there was a criticism of like, well, is he developing Quinn good enough? And it's because is Quinn going to be the quarterback that he needs to be? And what about his QBRs and all this? And like it was just like a Quinn, right? Somebody even asked, get what game it was. I don't know if it was after Rice or something. I forget which one it was. But there was even a question of, hey, sorry, did you ever consider, benching Quinn? Like that happened earlier this year. Literally happened earlier this year. And so lately, the conversation has centered around now we're talking about red zones, right? We're talking about the red zone, and why does he not take the points and the goal line plays and all those other kind of things, right? And so these are like the come latelys. Now, Rodolfo is different, right? Rodolfo has been very consistent in his criticism because he wants to see Jonte cooking and not Jay Witt. And so Rodolfo, that's Rodolfo's thing, right? It's like, why don't you play this guy? Like, so there's so many different things. And Rodolfo, I love you. And there's so many different things that we look at and say, okay, well, these are areas of improvement for Texas. And I just think sometimes we got to do a better job of reminding ourselves of the success this team is actually having. Because it's, again, when you're so into it, like you think of your profession, like whatever it is you do, doctor, if you're in IT, fragrance review, crypto, whatever it is, right? Whatever you guys do for a living, customer service, you name it, right? It's sometimes hard to appreciate certain things because your mind is so analytical that it's sometimes hard to take a step back, right? You're so hard on yourself and the things that you do at your job, right? But if you take a step back, you say to yourself, overall it's pretty darn successful, right? I could look at my show today, right? Look at it and be like, man, I got a lot of good material, but what's the one thing I'm probably going to focus in on when I'm all said and done? I'm going to think to myself, damn, yeah, like that internet glitch, I hate Spectrum. And forget about all the good conversations that we had going into it, right? And so look, as I start thinking about Kansas State, right? And Kansas State will take care of itself. What does that mean? We'll find things over the weekend. Everybody's going to go have a good night on Friday. Then come Saturday morning, wake up, tailgate, whatever, just go to the game. Halfway in between, we'll be criticizing something. We'll be criticizing some aspect of the team. After the game, we'll be criticizing some aspect of the team. So I know that's going to happen on Saturday. So how about this? How about on Thursday, today, November the 2nd? How about we just focus in for a minute on the positive aspects about this team? How about we just take a step back for a second? Take a step back from the criticism and the analytics and all these other kind of things and all the reasons why we will tell ourselves that this team is not going to be successful or not having success, or all the things that we're worried about or concerned about, and what does Kansas State bring to the table and all that kind of stuff. Let's take a quick step back and let's realize where this team is at. Okay. So I'm going to give you 10. I'm going to give you guys 10 positive aspects of this year's team. By the way, Aaron, give me 1 second, because I just realized I forgot to send the link to the guys going to be on. I forgot to send the link. So give me 1 second. Let me copy this and then send him that. Okay, I'll be good to go. All right, you guys ready for my 10? All right, let's do it. Let's have a good time. Okay. The first positive aspect about this year's team, and I know it's going to sound simplistic. Take a step back, breathe, realize that Texas is 7-1. And I'm starting very simplistic. I'm starting this very basic. But you know why I'm starting very basic? Because sometimes you got to take a step back from where you're at and say to yourself, you know what? At the end of this day, this team is actually pretty good. It's not perfect, because no team is. And I think we set this expectation up that the teams that win are going to be perfect in every single area: offense, defense, special teams. And more often than not, that's just not how it doesn't always happen. But at the end of the day, guys, Texas sits at number 7, ranked in the AP poll for 8 straight weeks they've been. And that, by the way, this is the longest stretch of games that Texas has been ranked since 2009. Okay, just think about that for a second. So far this year, Texas has been 4-0 at home. Okay, and by the way, 7-1. So just so we're clear, is this program's best start since 2009. You're literally watching Texas have its best season since it last competed for a national championship. And by the way, the last time I went ahead and looked this up, so I want to make sure I understood. I got this. The last time Texas finished the regular season with 10 regular season wins or more is 2009. And that's, of course, when they finished 12-0. They go to Nebraska. They finished 12-0. They beat Nebraska in the conference championship game. They lose to Alabama in the Natty, right? And so think about that for a second, that when it's all said and done, at the end of the day, take a step back and realize, man, this is actually the most success I've seen in a very, very long time. Good morning to you, Bo. How are you? So sometimes, again, take that step back and tell yourself, okay, yeah, at the end of the day, I would like things to be more perfect, but you know what? It's not a perfect team. And 7-1 sure beats the alternatives of things that you have seen. I've seen this team go 5-7 multiple times, right? So if you say 7-1, but it's not pretty, 7-1 in a close loss to Oklahoma, I'll tell you, it's not that bad. Okay. So that's number 1. Let's go into number 2. Okay. Number 2. I'm going to give you the positive aspects. We'll worry about the criticisms of the team over the weekend. We'll get you. That will take care of itself. Okay. Number 2. Texas did defeat Alabama on the road. And I know where we're at, right? We've been focused in on the loss versus Oklahoma. And I know that one stings, right? Because that's OU. You don't want to lose to OU, right? I mean, and it's, you talk all that trash, 49-0, beat your chest, all that kind of stuff, and you end up with the L, right? And that L is hard to take. But when you start thinking about the season and totality of the season, and having that loss, you cannot negate how big of a win that was for this program. And I got more. I got 8 more. So don't think I don't got a lot to cover. That victory now was the first ever non-conference road win for Texas against an AP top 3 opponent. First non-conference road win, school history, against an AP top 3 opponent. They snapped Alabama's 21-game home winning streak. And then, by the way, they snapped Alabama's other streak, which was 57 consecutive regular season wins against non-conference opponents. 57. Okay? Where we at? It was also the first double-digit loss for Alabama under Nick Saban since he became, let me say this, first double-digit home loss for Nick Saban since he became the coach in 2003. First time he ever lost at home by double digits since 2003. You know, did that this year's team under Steve Sarkisian. Okay? Obviously, Texas has 5 sacks in that game. So then, at the end of the day, I say to you, well, no, the first thing that we know is that Texas is sitting at 7-1. The second thing that you know is that they also received a historic win earlier this year. So again, for all the where is this team and the panic and why they're not like this and why did they not have anything like that, I can tell you that so far hasn't been as bad as you would think. It's not pretty to watch. But again, from our analytical brains that are so in tune, it's hard to just sit back and relax and say, you know what? It's not that bad. Okay. Number 3. Let's talk about the third thing that's important in here. The Jonathan Brooks emergence. I mean, I will tell you, and I'll be very honest with you guys about this. I didn't see it coming. And look, I've watched Jonathan Brooks. Clearly, I watch every game. I watch every game multiple times. And I kept telling everybody, hey, I mean, he might be good, but he ain't going to be Bijan good. I mean, Bijan's next level. Bijan's top 10 NFL draft. Bijan's don't grow on trees. I don't know if Sarkisian has got what it takes to have one running back after another running back after another running back. Like, I don't know. We're not at that point where we're at plug and play. Like, we'll have to see. Like, now I don't know if he's going to get over 1,000 yards. That's going to be, I don't know what that's going to look like. I don't know if he's fast enough to do all that stuff. Like all those things, right? And then here we go. That all of a sudden, all he's doing is averaging 115 yards of rushing yards per game. And yes, Nash, I do know all the stats you're pointing out. I actually had your thing up on the screen the other day. So I did have that. So you are correct in everything that you do. I did have your tweet up the other day. He ranks 4th in the nation this season in rushing yards per game. Nation rushing yards per game. That's crazy. 6th in all-purpose yards. 2nd in the Big 12 in both of those categories. Sits 5th nationally in total rushing yards at 923, 5th in the nation. 2nd in the conference in total touchdowns, 3rd in rushing yards per carry, and 5th in the conference in rushing touchdowns. So when you start thinking about positive aspects of this team, all of a sudden you start looking at that running back room and you say to yourself, oh, okay. Well, then if you lose Bijan and Roschon, next guy up may not be that huge drop-off. I can tell you what, I won't make the mistake again. If Jonathan Brooks goes to the NFL after this season, when they say fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Won't get me the second time. I got bamboozled the first time. Told myself that thing can't happen. I don't care who the starter next year is. I don't give a damn if they move Charles Wright to running back. I'm like, oh well, there we go. Look like another 1,000-yard running back. What Charles Wright gonna start a running back? And I believe it. I believe that's what's gonna happen. That's another one of the positives about this year's team that you have to kind of embrace. Number 4, I think everyone will kind of agree to this one. Anthony Hill will become a star. Right? Let's look at the positive aspects. First one was obviously Texas is 7-1. Second one, Texas defeated Alabama on the road. Third, Jonathan Brooks' emergence. Fourth, I don't know, Anthony Hill's going to become a star. Obviously, he made his first career start against BYU this past week. We know what he was able to do against Alabama. He got 2 sacks against Alabama. And of course, he buries Alabama late in that game as well. He is tied on this team with 3 sacks this season, ranks 3rd on the team in tackles with 35 and tackles for losses. So he's got 30. Yeah, like I said, it's been one hell of a season for Anthony Hill, living up to all the hype, all the expectations. We start thinking about the positives. And again, we'll nitpick the defense. What about this on the defense? What about that on the defense? All that kind of stuff. At the overall, Anthony Hill has been a standout. So let's talk about number 5 then. Let's go there. Thank you, Aaron. I say, look, it's real simple. Overall, the defense has played well. What are you saying? I just saw this defense versus Houston. I saw this defense versus Oklahoma. Man, you are tripping. Am I? Let me give you some numbers here. I'm going to give you some numbers here that you may or may not know, may or may not have considered. And again, I think this is what happens when you're as smart as you are. It is what it is. Texas ranks currently, they rank 3rd in the nation in 3rd down defense, which they're only allowing opponents to convert on just 27.8% of all opportunities. I didn't say 3rd in the conference. I said 3rd in the nation when it comes to getting off the field on 3rd down. The most important thing that a defense has to do, right? The outside of not giving up touchdowns, right? Which clearly, all right, second most important thing. Clearly not giving up touchdowns is number 1. But 2, you tackle, got to get off the field, and they're getting off the field at a high clip. Texas ranks 15th amongst Power 5 programs in total offense, but they also rank 20th in total defense. Which, by the way, they're 1 of 7 programs to rank amongst the top 20 in both of those categories, right? Here's something else that I want you to consider when we have the conversation about this defense, okay? Texas, on average, is giving up 16 points per game. 16 points per game. By the way, that's enough to be ranked 15th in the country. Let me say that again. Texas, on average, is giving up 16 points a game, which is enough to be ranked 15th in the country. Texas, so far this season, has held 3 opponents to 10 points or less. Rice, Wyoming, BYU. 3 opponents to 10 or less. And 1 scored 14. and we're keeping it in the butt. And one of those opponents only dropped 14 points. But I'm just saying 10 or less. That's what this defense has done more often than not. I'm just saying. When I start thinking about this team, when I start thinking about where they're at, and I start thinking about, okay, as I start to overanalyze, I have to say, okay, wait, Texas is 7-1. They beat Alabama on the road. Jonathan Brooks has been playing well. Anthony Hill's been doing good. Defense actually hasn't been that bad compared to where other people are. Maybe a little too hard. Number 6. This is very interesting. This is Something you gotta, if you didn't know, Nash probably knows, but if you didn't know, Texas has scored 30 or more points in every game of this season. Do you know the last time Texas has scored 30 or more points in the first 8 games of the season was? Do you know when the last time that happened? 30 or more points in 8 games of the season. You know the last time that happened? What do you think? 2009, 2005, maybe one of those, maybe something before that. Probably not. They didn't really go like that. I would say never. It's never happened. Not in one season before this season has Texas scored 30 or more points in the first 8 games of the season. This is the first time it has happened in program history, y'all. History. What's up with Steve Sarkisian? What's up with the offense? What's going on with all this stuff? Why is he not doing this? Why is he doing that? It's never happened. Never. Yes, Ben. Ever. It's never happened. This is the first time we've seen it. This is the first time we've seen an offense that actually has put up the amount of points that Texas has. Like I keep saying, the problem is this. We're so focused on so many of the other things that sometimes, you miss the forest from the trees, right? You can't differentiate. Like, oh snap! Wait a second, we're scoring a lot. I know I didn't like some of these other plays that were happening, but you know what? At the end of the day, well, damn it, man, it's like you know what it's like. You know what it's like, y'all. It's just like this. It's like Waze, just like that. You ever be on your Waze app? And all of a sudden, Waze decides, hey, I'm going to reroute you because something ain't going on. And so next thing you know, you taking all these back roads. You're like, where the hell is Waze taking me? Where are we going? Like, well, I wanted to stay on 35. Now it's got me on this. Okay, Waze is rerouting me. Now where we go? Now I got to go through here. I got to make a right here, make a left here, make a right this and that. And then next thing you know, you realize, oh, snap. Damn, I got to the destination. and that's where we're at right now. You're getting to the destination. It may not be the smooth path journey that you're used to, where you talk to yourself like, I'm going to get from point A to point B quite simplistically. But yeah, sometimes, Sark, you're looking at it and you're like, why did he call this play? Why is he not running this person? Why is this receiver not in here? Why is this other person not in here? Why is he doing this on first down? Why is he doing this? Why is he doing all these things, man? I get a little frustrated. And next thing you know, you're like, oh, snap, by the way, we're 7-1. And oh yeah, by the way, we're scoring over 30 points a game in every single game, which has never been done. That's not that bad when it's all said and done. Number 7, let's talk about it. Ryan Sanborn reminds you of Michael Dixon. Now, I'm not going to say he is Michael Dixon, okay? But you can't. Let me tell you, Sanborn is averaging 48.4 yards per punt this season. That's my man's average. My man has had 9 punts of at least 50 yards this season. 9. Bruh, I don't know what to tell you. As relates to this. You have a guy who's a punter who can flip the field on you. Flip the field. Dude, I'm telling you, dude goes punts. I don't want to jinx him and talk him up too much. Dude drops a punt and you're like, oh man, I don't know where this damn thing's going to land. I mean, and this is not what he was doing. If Sanborn was doing this, he would have been in the NFL by now. He wasn't doing that. Now, I think a lot of that has to do with Jeff Banks. I mean, Jeff Banks is a special teams guy. So that has a lot to do with that. But if you're thinking about some aspects to be happy about, it's another positive thing for you. Number 8. I think it's important. I said the quarterback room seems stable. Okay. And why I say stable is this. First of all, Quinn Ewers before the injury was having a good season. Okay. We can agree to that. That's where he's at. And I want you to think about what typically happens when you go to the backup. Think about this season when you guys have seen, when we've seen backup quarterbacks. It has not been pretty. Right? It has not been pretty. And when you go to the backup, usually it's like, oh, hell. And say whatever you want to think about Malik. Whatever you want to think about Malik and where he's at and his development, this and that. Tell me, how many more backups would you take over Malik Murphy right now? I don't think the list would be long. I don't really think it's list. I'll tell you this. There's some starters in the Big 12. I want to take over Malik Murphy. Would you take that BYU quarterback over Malik Murphy? Slovis, would you take him? Hell no. No. You throw that thing out like it was candy corn. Like, this is what you put in my bag? I don't want that thing, right? That's the quarterback room hasn't had that drop off that we would see in the past. That when the next quarterback comes in, he just tells you something, man, we just gotta hold on. I don't know if we can hang. Like, that's important. Let me give you number 9. Number 9, as far as your positive aspects about this team. Tavondre Sweat and Byron Murphy living up to the hype. Those guys have lived up to the hype. All the preseason, everything. Like, everything that we thought. You know, I remember I got on here before the season. I told you guys, like, look, at the end of the day, Keondre Coburn's gone. Moro Jomo's gone. Those guys in a set a bar so high that Tavondre Sweat can't come in here and Byron Murphy can't come in here and have that equal amount of success, if not more. It's not like trying to top Bijan, which I would use that analogy. Well, first and foremost, clearly I was wrong about Bijan because Jonathan Brooks is doing the damn thing. And Tavondre Sweat at times has looked like an absolute beast who should be a first-round pick. That's just what has happened. And so both of those guys as well. And then the last one I'll throw in there, 10 positive aspects. Recruiting is going well. I'm not saying it's amazing. I know what you want, top 5, right? But you got Colin Simmons. You've got Ryan Wingo. You got the 2 running backs, Christian Clark and Jarrett Gibson. They're currently ranked 8th in the nation with a little bit more than a month to go. And what else is available? I don't know, the transfer portal. Seems like Texas seems to do okay with that, right? There's no shortage of kids who want to come to Texas because of that. And so, again, when you pull it back, when you look through the layers, and I gave you 10 things, right? And the things that have been done, 7-1, going on the road, beating Alabama. Number 2, like I said, beating Alabama on the road. Number 3, the emergence of Jonathan Brooks. Number 4, what you've seen with Anthony Hill. Number 5, with the defense playing as well as has been playing. Number 6, 30 points a game in every single game this season that with this offense has scored. Number 7, you got the punter, who's, by the way, he gets named Ryan Sanborn and doesn't get called the punter. The quarterback room being stable, Tavondre Sweat and Byron Murphy, and then the recruiting going well. I say it all to say, y'all, as no matter how bad you think it is, it could be worse. But sometimes you got to sit back and tell yourself, you know what? This thing actually isn't as bad as I thought it is. Like anything, when you see the sausage how it's being made, it's going to get a little ugly. It's like you go, And sometimes on that path that you're trying to get to, it's like Waze. You try to get there directly. Waze is taking you all these different directions. And you're thinking to yourself, man, where the hell's he's taking me? But at the end of the day, you're getting to the overall destination. 7-1, facing Kansas State at home with the opportunity to finish strong and then see what else is out there. Okay? Let's do this. Quick break. When I come back, Mitch Fortner is going to be here. He is the voice of K-State. It's going to come in a little bit early, which is great for me, actually. So come in a little bit early, and then we're going to actually be able to talk some K-State. It's time to get smart. It's time to get educated. Mitch is a great guy. I cannot wait to talk to him again. So let's do a quick break, and then we will be right back. Don't go anywhere.
They want to make this game ugly. They want it to be slow. You know, they want the clock to run. They want it to be a disjointed game. They don't want going back and forth. They don't want a basketball game. They need the Baltimore Ravens up this game a little bit. And that drive was kind of the opposite of that. They didn't, a little bit like Texas, right? They come out throwing the football, not really having a lot of success in this first drive. And here we are, 12:25 to go in the first quarter, and we're on our second punt of the game. Nice kick. Xavier Worthy takes the punt at the 25, and he's got a lane.
Nice return.
He's
return. Worthy's gone. He's gone.
And
It's over.
for all of you that have wanted Xavier Worthy off of punt returns, how do you like them apples?
Wow.
He's been close to that all season long. And that was a case of the BYU punter kicking the ball too far down the field.
That was that 75? Did I see that yard marker right? Is that a 75-yard return?
Yeah, he caught it at about the 25. That's about right.
I'm telling you what, Catch, I don't think a dude in blue pants even touched him. It was
such a good punt that it backed Worthy up, but it gave him a ton of space.
Yeah.
And so he avoids the first tackle attempt, and then he's just got acres of space to run through right down the middle. There wasn't a whole lot of fancy shake and bake on that, but
well, and that's extra dangerous too. If you can set it up to where that guy doesn't have to shake and bake and he can just go blinding speed, you're done. You talk about a dude that was done. That punter from BYU he won't hear it in film study, Catch, because they all know him. They know who he is.
He's gonna be like, none of them other dudes made tackles either.
Yeah. That was Jeff Ketchum and Chad Hastings on that watch along that we do every Saturday here on the channel. So make sure you check that thing out. When the game gets started, if you hit like and subscribe to the channel, you will absolutely, well, at least subscribe. You'll get the notification as soon as they go, and you get to watch and hear the in-game commentary from those guys as the game is going along. So we have the watch along, and that'll be getting started this week at 11 a.m. All right, let's go into our Speakeasy Lounge. I'm excited to bring back Mitch Fortner. He is the voice of K-State. I'm excited for him to tell me what the hell's going on with this team. They look pretty darn good. Mitch Fortner's coming right back. Good morning to you, Mitch. How are you?
I'm good, Anwar. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, man. It looked like you're in the basement over there, Mitch. You got all this equipment behind you?
I am. So I work at a radio station in Manhattan, and we have 5 stations that run out of this one building. And I just stepped into one that doesn't have the morning show going on anymore to do this interview.
It looks like they got 5 different 5 people going out in one room with all that equipment that's in there. So, but Mitch, man, it's good to talk to you, man. Give me an idea of where K-State is at. They just had that big win against Houston. I've done a lot of thoughts and analysis on this team. Seems to be good on both sides of the ball. Seem to be playing really good football right about now. Just give me an overall view before we get too specific as to where K-State is as they head into this ball game.
Yeah, K-State's in a lot more comfortable spot than they were a month ago. Because a month ago, K-State played on a Friday night at Oklahoma State, and it just did not go well. I mean, Will Howard threw 3 interceptions, and everybody was asking, where is the true freshman quarterback? And Avery Johnson, the best recruit K-State has had since Josh Freeman in the mid-2000s during the Ron Prince era, who was a 5-star kid. And, Avery Johnson's this 4-star guy that is just absolutely electric with his feet. And he rushed in 5 touchdowns right against Texas Tech. That was kind of a reset button there, kind of a reality check for Will Howard. And since that game, I mean, K-State has the Texas Tech game. K-State has just dominated on both sides of the football. In the last 9.5 quarters, K-State has outscored its opponent 103-3.
Wait,
And
say that stat again. Say that stat again, Mitch.
last 9.5 quarters since Texas Tech took the lead for the last time in the third quarter, K-State has outscored its opponents 103-3. The field goal was by TCU, and then last week they shut out Houston. And, that's the offensive storyline. K-State has just been running the hell out of the football. Sorry to say four-letter word there, but
we say worse.
Very successful with running the football the last couple of weeks, really all season long. And then the defense has been really solid all year long. But go back to the Mizzou game, go back to the Oklahoma State game. The secondary has given up too many big plays. It had to do with miscommunication. And, last year's secondary had 3 guys that went to the NFL. So you're replacing a lot of dudes. Now they're playing like dudes. Heck, last week is a great example of that. Donovan Smith, who threw, for over 370 yards against Texas, he throws 88 yards against K-State. And a big part of that is getting pressure on the QBs lately, and the secondary being more locked down. And if I can tell you real quick, a quick story about a success story about the secondary, Keenan Garber, who wears number 1, is incredibly impressive this year. The thing is, he did not play corner for K-State until the Big 12 championship game last year. He did not learn the position until 36 hours prior to the Big 12 championship game. Eko Boydo gets hurt, and he comes in and plays lights out. And now he is playing some real lockdown man corner for K-State, and that's been a huge boost for the secondary, along with Kobe Savage, VJ Payne, who's a sophomore, Marquis Siegel's a transfer from North Dakota State. It's a real mixture of guys with different backgrounds that are all clicking right now.
Mitch, what's been very interesting about the offense, it seems to be that Kleiman just will ride the hot hand in a game, right? So if it's Howard, hot hand, sure. If it's Avery, hot hand, sure. If it's the running back and he's hot, sure. Like, it seems like they can kill you in so many different ways if you know how to go about it. Is that kind of what Kleiman's kind of philosophy is, that, hey, whatever's working, that's what we're going with? I just kind of get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, 100%. So last 3 weeks, it's been a K-State, quarterback. We'll call it a quarterback situation, but it's not your typical bad one where you have 2 guys that maybe aren't good enough to be the starter. You have 2 guys that are good enough to be the starter. But it has been kind of a hot hand. Will Howard's just been the better quarterback the last couple of weeks. He's the more experienced guy versus the true freshman. You would expect that. Texas Tech, it was Avery Johnson that was the absolute spark for the offense. And now Will Howard has been more in control. It was funny because the last couple of weeks we've been all wondering, like, what is the coaching staff going to do with the quarterbacks? Well, against TCU, they literally switched every possession, and it worked extremely well, which was a bit of a shocker how a quarterback can be operating in that kind of way, just going back and forth. But then against Houston, it was all Will Howard. Avery fumbled on his second snap on the 3rd possession, and then he just come back in until garbage time. So it's hot hand for the QB, but against Texas, I would fully expect Will Howard to take on most of the heavy work there. But it's also the same thing at running back with Trayshawn Ward and DJ Giddens. They have been very reliable. There's always been one better than the other typically. But DJ Giddens was a late example, and he's been playing a lot like Jonathan Brooks, where he's just been a hard dude to tackle one-on-one. So that's been very pleasant to see those 2 really work well as a 1-2 punch.
Every game gets won in the trenches, right? And so what K-State usually has prided itself on is a good offensive line. Now, Texas has got a good defensive line. They've got Tavondre Sweat, who you heard me mention him before, and Byron Murphy. They got an edge guy and Barron Sorrell. Tell me what K-State has up front and what's been working, for them so good. I think, and they do I know they have a standout offensive lineman as well.
Yeah, the standout would be Cooper Beebe, who is the left guard. And I think Pro Football Focus has him as the best interior offensive lineman in the country. I think right now he's certainly a first-round draft pick for this upcoming draft. He's no doubt about the leader. I think he has the opportunity to be the first ever offensive lineman in K-State history to make our football Ring of Honor, where we put his name up on up in the stadium, and we don't have a single offensive lineman that has that honor.
Wow.
But he's an absolute stud. There's not enough to say about the guy. Last week he had a famous pancake block on a DJ Giddens touchdown that made the national highlights and all that. But around him, you have guys that are pretty good. K-State's offensive line, like coming into the year, like Texas was considered a top 10 in the nation. K-State's offensive line had a bit of a slow start this year. They took a lot of criticism for maybe just not blocking consistently. The timing was off. And it's funny enough, it all started clicking against Texas Tech when Avery Johnson started running the ball. And then everybody was like, Avery's the best opportunity for this offense to move. This guy needs to be the guy. Well, the timing is in the success for the offensive line has also been with Will Howard these last 3 weeks as well. Around him, KT Leviston, who's at left tackle, is also one of the best linemen that K-State has. He is a real protector of the QB with the blind side at left tackle. It's been interesting as well on the right side of the line. Taylor Portier, who is supposed to be this absolute baller of an offensive lineman, but the last couple of years he's been hurt. He's only played in one game the last 2 years. He's finally starting to get up to speed of where he should have been the last couple of years. Carver Willis at right tackle had not played. He had never started a game until this year, and he's a senior. He's been in the program for a long time. He's slowly but surely becoming much better. That's because Christian Duffy, who is a reliable guy and a returner, is now back, and he had his first start last week against Houston. So I guess the story about the offensive line is now they're playing much better, but it is a group of guys that are all veterans. They've all been with the program for a long time. Like Texas, a very veteran group that had everybody back this year.
Mitch, there was interesting stat that I was kind of looking for because I had a bunch of things here on them. Defense. Let's talk about the defense's portion for a second. Let's get into the highs of it. They said right now K-State is giving up an average of about like 15.9 points per game at this moment. One of the stats that said that the last time the Wildcats allowed under 20 points per game in the season was in 2003. How much of that do you attribute to the scheme as far as this 3-3-5 scheme is concerned? Because obviously when switching from that 3-3-5 at some point, they did a couple of years ago, there was some amount of excess. Or how much of it is just the athletes that K-State has been able to have?
Athletes is one thing. We've seen the athleticism really pick up. The safeties I mentioned earlier, they're playing so much faster now. I think one of the things is, and Coach Kleiman has brought this up multiple times, and that's that they just simplified a few things. Maybe they're just trying to do too much in the non-con and early in Big 12 play. So they just simplified a few things. Just let the guy have his role. Let him do what he does best. And that is, I think, resulted in more confidence and guys that know what they're doing. Another thing that the coaching staff did is they switched a couple of safeties. They just moved them. They switched them before the year to different positions. Now they switched them back to their natural positions in Kobe Savage and VJ Payne, who are both really good players. So I think just simplifying what they do has been a big result. And heck, the secondary, going back to those guys, it's interesting if the last 3 games, 3 of the 4 leading tacklers have been guys in the secondary. And you think, okay, if it's that way, it may not be going very well if you're K-State. The secondary has to be making all these tackles. Like I said, the last 9.5 quarters, they've only given up 3 points. So I think the secondary really playing a lot faster in tackling better. K-State didn't tackle very well against Texas Tech. Tosh Brooks was a tough tackle that night. And I worry about that with Jonathan Brooks. But the tackling has also been so much better in Big 12 play.
Mitch, so here, let's go into this though. Let's have the real conversation here, which is at the end of the day, K-State has improved. At the end of the day, K-State is playing a better brand of football. But at the end of the day, K-State has lost 6 straight games to Texas. And they're going, as good as it is. They never beat Tom Herman. They still haven't beat. They didn't beat Sarkisian with a 3-3-5. Even in the 5-win season, Sarkisian's had success against Kleiman. Kleiman's never beaten Texas since he's been there. So my question to you, obviously with Texas being ranked 7th in the country, How do they really stack up against a team that has had so much success against them?
Well, in this game, K-State's not going to be on the field with the better, I would say, talent, athleticism. But where K-State stacks up, I think right now K-State is playing its best football. They're coming in with a ton of momentum. Texas is coming in with a backup quarterback in Malik Murphy, who just had his first career start. K-State's been really good at getting pressure on the quarterback lately and making them uncomfortable and maybe making some decisions they wouldn't typically make on a normal day where they're comfortable. K-State will never match up against Texas with the most athleticism in the world, the most stars or anything like that. But there is a chip on this team's shoulder. They have a bunch of guys that have lost to Texas. They've never beaten Texas. Phillip Brooks, wide receiver, was talking about that. Will Howard has said that they've never beaten Texas. So they've really embraced this week the challenge of playing Texas down there. I've said on my show that I think K-State is getting Texas at the right time. K-State has not played a top 25 team this year so far. So this will be by far the biggest challenge. But also where K-State stacks up is K-State did make a Big 12 championship game last year. They want to get back to it again this year. Thanks to Kansas knocking off Oklahoma, now there is control of their own destiny. And with the 5-way tie in the Big 12, that's crazy interesting how that's going to all wrap up. But I mean, you're going to get the most fired up K-State has been all season long. So I would say that's what K-State has on their side. Them being fired up and ready to take on this challenge that they haven't quite faced, unless you want to consider Missouri that kind of challenge, who's now a top 20 team.
Last thing, Mitch, and I'll let you go. Mitch, obviously the voice of K-State. It's just a way I can simplistically call him. I always have asked people this question. Use my last question to folks, and the question is, I need you to help me to complete this thought. Okay, the thought is, if K-State is to beat Texas on Saturday, or was to beat Texas on Saturday, what would have happened or what would need to happen for K-State to win?
I think that can be answered just by talking about the running game. Okay. K-State has to run the ball to win this game. And that's what K-State's done so well this year, and especially the last 2 or 3 weeks, is just run the football really well, run it down their throat. The thing is, and I think this is a huge key, K-State has to convert third downs. They're one of the best teams in the country in converting third downs, but guess what? So is Texas. So third downs is going to be a huge key. But can K-State successfully run the football? That's big. Can K-State stop Jonathan Brooks? That is my biggest worry for the defense. Can they stop Jonathan Brooks? I love the play of the secondary. I kept talking about the K-State secondary. That's going to be a heck of a challenge to stop guys like Xavier Worthy and Adonai Mitchell. I think is that how you say his first name?
Yes,
Adonai?
yes, Adonai. Okay. Yes.
He was my preseason pick for Big 12 Newcomer of the Year, and the guy's impressive. So this is going to be K-State's secondary's biggest challenge of the year so far. But Jonathan Brooks also chews up yards, and I just worry that I hope K-State doesn't fall back into the issues they had with Taj Brooks against Texas Tech, where they really struggled to tackle, and that it did affect them a little bit with giving up some of the big plays. I don't know if Texas will be a big play threat, as in having a whole bunch in the game. I certainly hope not. But K-State has to run the football well. They cannot let Jonathan Brooks run all over them. So I think that's the two big keys, plus getting stops on third down against a Texas team that's one of the best in the country at converting them.
Yeah, and by the way, from a defensive perspective, Texas actually ranks third in the nation in third down defense, only allowing people to convert just 27.8% on those opportunities. Mitch, tell everybody how they can find you online, to be able to follow you on Twitter and have a good time. Yeah,
at Mitch the Ford on Twitter. And I will say, when you call me the voice of K-State, I'm the public address announcer of K-State. I want to give a shout out to Wyatt Thompson, who does the radio play-by-play voice. But I'm on Twitter at Mitch the Ford. I host The Game on 1350 K-Man. If you just search for that, it's my podcast. That is also a broadcast on the radio. We talk Cats, we talk Big 12, talk sports, and we talk a bunch of different stuff as well for 2 hours, Monday through Friday. So check that out at Mitch the Ford on Twitter. I try to do my best to tweet some good K-State stuff out there on game day. So
Mitch, you're a gentleman and a scholar. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you at 2:00. So I'll see you in a few hours.
All right, Anwar, appreciate it. Thanks.
All right, take care, Mitch. Take care. And by the way, guys, no shots at all. No shots. Everyone, we're good. You can have a good day. Look at you, all good, feeling happy. All right, so here's what's gonna happen for the rest of the day. Today is the Prize Picks day, and so basically within the next 20 minutes, I gotta close this thing out. In 20 minutes, we're gonna come back with our Prize Picks show and be able to give you our predictions for this upcoming season, the upcoming week. I think it's just gonna be Sugamel, myself, and Alex are gonna be the three people that give you a predictions today. No catch this morning. Because I think he's on the road from Houston to Austin today. So now, see if I get my damn Pluckers card. Watch what doesn't happen. I can tell you that much. So yes, that'll be happening today. So at 10 o'clock, and then of course, we'll have the house divided here at noon. So thank you to Mitch for being on. Thank you for Aaron for doing the producers. Thank you for everybody. Again, I hope I gave you the 10 reasons to be optimistic. We'll get critical over the weekend, but at least for today, November the 2nd, there's a reason to be optimistic about your Longhorns and at least appreciate where you guys are at. So for everybody else who's here, thank you guys. Thanks for everyone in the Specs chat as well. I'll see you guys in about 20 minutes. Don't go anywhere. Subscribe to the channel to get the notifications when the prediction show gets started. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Remember what I always say, live each day like it was your last, because one day it will.